Hello viewers, it's me Pradeep Uniyal once again with a documentary on JAUNSAR-BAWAR, and let's walk through about 50 years back to my great-grandfathers and grandfathers' time. How the Jaunsari tribe made their life survival without any transportation and connectivity to cities, and no sources were available at that time. These people were really amazing. They had made everything themselves for every solution. The quote is said, necessity is the mother of invention. Really exists here. They were illiterate just in reading, writing, but engineers and doctors of the time. I took aback when I saw their inventions. Let's jump to the Jaunsar and Bawar and also my motherland. Let me get you understand with the help of Google Map where his beautiful place really located on this earth. We are here in India on map. Zoom it and go to the north of the country and Uttarakhand state. Here its capital Dehradun. This place is situated in district Dehradun and go towards Selakui, Harbatpur, Vikasnagar. It is the most prevalent city of Jaunsari people, and this tribal area starts from Kalsi, where King Ashoka's rock edicts is situated at. There are two rivers meet, Tons and Yamuna, and two roads bifurcate the same. One is via Minas to Tivni with the sharing border with Himachal Pradesh, and another one is via Chakrata Sayya. It is an NH72 connects Kalsi to Tivni. NH72 divides Jaunsar and Bawar almost equally in both sides. Half part of it towards Tons river and half of it is towards Lakhamandal. That is most prominent place of Pandav, god and goddess of Jaunsari people. Chakrata and Sayya has been famous for center market for them and connects many places of this region. The Jaunsari tribe worship deities like Pandav, means god and goddess. Some people have been worshipping Shivji Maharaj since long and pilgrims visit to him. Shivji Maharaj temple is located at Chud-dhar in Himachal Pradesh. Others are Vashik Maharaj is the oldest brothers among the four. Stayed at Guna, Nawada, Bagi and Hanol, village of Uttarakhand for 1 year. 1 year at Ruplu in Himachal Pradesh. He comes out on 2nd June or 20th Gate Jest. He has been placed at Mahendrath for convenient visiting on roadside of Uttarakhand. The Mahasu Maharaj at Hanol is placed permanently. His Doria is same as his Palki. The Chalda Maharaj, Chalta Hua Devta, is named as he walks around the region of the Jaunsar. 12 years on Santville, 12 years on Panchville, means east and west side. The Papasi Maharaj stays Teen Patti, Bangan, Kotigad, Pingalpatti, Mashmurpatti, villages of Uttarakhand. There are four brothers. The pilgrims visit their sacred place, Hanol, near Tivni, Uttarakhand. Let's know more about Jaunsari tribe's lifestyle and survival techniques. They used to build such houses completely was made of wood and stone slates for rooftop, with sloping roof for avoiding snow storing on it. They used to paint with two colors, white and red, which is not paint but red and white soil they used. That would be the entrance of the house, and these are windows for ventilation. There was kind of balcony and people used to sit here in the summer season. This was used for storing key and any other things which needed cold place. This is the main door of the house and floor was completely made of wood. These houses were great example of Tyndall effect, as you can see sunlight inside. This place was probably used for guests. Another corner was for soil stove and kitchen place. As you can see shelves and almirah for keeping things. See, how they locked the door was an amazing technique. Close it and slide the wooden door. Here was the small place for storing rice, pulses, flour for kitchen use. Everything was perfectly designed, and for ventilation there would be two options given. One was window and other was rooftop, and they used to slide it down in the morning and slide it up at dusk and in case of raining. Now let's know which crops were grown by the people of Jaunsari for quenching hunger. The prevalent crops were wheat, but they thought its production was not enough to eat. They would consider a person could have eaten much quantity of wheat chapati. Therefore, they used to produce wheat lesser than other crops. They believed in producing millets, crop which could produce good quantity of grains. This is the time for harvesting the wheat and barley crops. They took it here for separating the chaff from seed with the help of oxen or bulls and store in it. It was called khalian in local language. This room was built in the purpose of protecting crops from rain or storm. This kind of technique has completely been obsolete after electricity supply everywhere. Maize crop was one of the best crop of Jaunsari people because it has good quantity of production and people would produce it in large scale. When harvesting started, all the family members used to go field and would cut down its stick and keep keep the lives for feeding to keep the leaves for feeding to animal. They would peel it off in the field and took them home. At night, all family members and neighbors used to separate the corn seed while enjoying fiction stories to avoid sleep. They used corn for popcorn, means muda in local language, and also roasted it and carried to gharat for grinding. They used to make chapati and sattu, roasted corn flour mixed with water and chach or matha, means buttermilk with sauce of apricot, including mint leaf salt. Its chapati would have awesome taste. Farmers had a frustrating situations with monkeys. They had to be very attentive in the fields, with dogs for protecting crops from them. Dog was a pet animal of the tribe. They had another domestic animal like cow, ox, mules, donkeys, horses. Every animal had his own significance. They would rear cow for producing milk, butter, buttermilk, ghee. Let's see that was the ghee maker of the people. This container was made of wood, as you can see, and a shaft was also made of wood. Early night they would keep milk for turning it into curd, and next morning they used to mix it with the help of these wooden tools to make butter and buttermilk, and also was the source of income. And an ox for ploughing fields. Mules, donkeys, and horses were used for transportation. Next it was amaranth. In local language it was called chodai, somewhere cholai. It could be saved for 15 years and long. They called it emergency cereal. When crops were not ready to harvest, people would use it. Sometime level of river water raised and they were not able to go gharat for grinding other grains. In that case, people used to grind it with the help of jandra and used it in emergency. As you can see in the video, they roasted and mixed it with mandua, finger millets for chapati. And other use of it was amaranth porridge, lemra. It was prepared with water mixture and used as meal. Now grass millet is one of the emergency cereal of jaunsari people. They used to use it in case of late harvesting of another cereals because grass millet harvesting period was earlier than any other cereals. They used it instead of rice and also for roasted millet called muda in local. Interesting fact with grass millet was that no other source of separating grains from grass except shuffling it under the feet. For that, all family members did this job after dinner at night. Foxtail millet kawani in local language. It could be used instead of rice or also for muda. Its harvesting season was August and September. It is also called birds' favorite food. They liked it because of its tail. Bird, rat and other rodents had to pick one tail and store it in their nest for long. Sorghum, in local language lundru, was used as roasted seeds for muda, and the people used to take it for married girls, sisters in their in-laws' home. When a father, brother, uncle visited to them, as we take sweets now. Paddy is one of the most prevalent cereal of the jaunsari people. They would produce it in large scale. Paddy farming needs much water supply in the field. Jaunsari people lives in the hilly area, so small rivers flow almost everywhere. They prepared field for paddy near to river and would make canal for leading water to the paddy fields. As you can see, rice is often from paddy by removing the husk from paddy. That time there was no machine for separating grain from the paddy, so people used to paddy to their own rolling stone. This was called buttu in local language. Every family had their own buttu. With the help of this wooden rod, hit the paddy grain many times and remove the husk from it. It was also like grinder for spices. Let's know finger millet, koda, kodu, mandua, is differently spelled. It was said that a remedial food. They prepared laddu and kanik. Kanik making procedure was really amazing. They put the wheat seeds in without air, means fermentation. After 15 days, wheat seeds would start sprouting and then mixed with finger millet grains for grinding, and next step was cooking its flour. This recipe was sweet in taste and black in color. They could use its flour for making chapatis. Yorkton oat was a self-grown bead with wheat crop. They used it for cow and for animals. Okay, let's see what pulses those people used to have. Okay, first one was moong. Yes, they were aware of it. It is same as urad, but greenish in color. Next was masoor and soybean. In local they called it bharat. They used it for making sattu, as I described earlier what sattu means. Yes, they also roasted its seeds. Interesting fact about sattu was that they used to carry little bag with them whenever they had to travel long from their houses. or homes. They would take sattu flour and stay where they could find water for mixing it in order to quench their hunger. A few people got soybean oil from the seeds. Another source of cooking oil of the tribe was mustard oil, sarson ka tel. They saw it only for oil purpose and sometimes they prepared vegetable of its leaves. In local language they called sag. You can see its grain. Apricot was one of the source of oil production for them. They used to make sauce and pickle from its shells after drying it in the sunlight for many days and kept it for long use. And apricot kernel was used for oil purpose. They were also familiar with a few forest fruit. Here you can see pine tree which they used for many purposes. Its fruit contains a seed that can be eaten. They had it and shell of fruit used for fuel purpose and burnt it in emergency. And pine conical needles were used for making animals' place dried at night when they were enclosed, and also making broom for cleaning dust in the house. They were known to forest fruit like raspberries and blackberries, one of the favorite fruit of them. Its taste would be little sour and sweet. This was a room for storing grains for long. Here is a key for unlocking the door. Let's go inside and see what and how it was designed. This is exactly how it was work. This is called dangra in local language. These windows were for ventilation purpose. This is called dangra in local language. Had mainly two uses. First one was meat cutter and another was a prestigious implement in the hand of leading person in dance circle. Here you can see some utensils. This was called bhaddu, like pressure cooker nowadays, for making meat and hardly cooking food. And this one would be useful for making rice and some special dishes. This was the stove for keeping grains for long. You may have been wondering how they washed their clothes if no market was available. See, here is soap nut was one of the soap detergent for them. People of the village decided to visit forest where soap nut tree could be found and took the nuts in their bags and peeled it off and used it as soap. And another source of detergent was forest aloe vera, a washed utensil with ashes. Let's see which kind of vegetable they were known to. You can see taro, obi, lukal. These are leaves that used to make pakoda or vegetable, and its root was used for vegetables. It is also still using. They used amaranth leaves to make vegetable. Nettle plants was one of the best source of vegetable that time. Its vegetable was pretty tasty with millet chapatis like maize, finger millet and so on. Whenever a person went to forest for taking bird or pasturing animals, they might find forest mushroom for vegetable. This is fiddlehead fern was used for vegetable and it could be found in riverside. In local language, it was called lengda, legur, casserole, and is spelled differently. Let's know which animal they used to eat. The most celebrating was Maud, means fish festival. In that festival, every family had their own fish net, and regions were divided into khat, and still now. Khat was a collection of villages in the region. 5 and more villages would make a khat. They decided to celebrate Maud fish festival in the hilly rivers, and many khat used to join that festival with great excitement. They not only fought on while catching fish, but also raised the old scores that time and fought rigorously, and some of them got killed on the spot. Maud was the main reason of fighting between the khat or villages. End of the day, people divided fish themselves and showed integrity and moved to their villages with traditional songs and harul on the way. Another source of meat was goat and sheep. They used goat for meat, skin mattress for welcoming guests, skin bag for carrying grains. Goat hair for making a warm mattress for winter. They used to provide this mattress only for guests, sometimes with nightwear. Goat were also source of income. Jaunsari people have been a tradition when every family cuts a goat in January month. They sold and bought a goat for this festival. And another meat and warmth cloth source was sheep. They ate its meat for prepared a warmth cloth from its wool. This man has been spinning since long and has great skill at spinning threads nicely. He always had a wool container with him. When he goes outside home, he used to take his stand with him for comfortably adjusting the spinning rod on it. After a month or two, he has spun enough threads for making a clothes. Now next step is to fix all the threads in this handcraft. He is ready to make cloth sheet and see how he is working precisely. Does he really need to do yoga or exercise? His body is completely exercising. All the part of the body is moving properly. After this hard work, he can earn 6 or 7 thousands for a bundle. After this work, bundle of sheet is taken to tailor master in order to turn it into wearable clothes. He charges 15 to 3,000 rupees accordingly to bundle sheet cost. He designs accordingly. Jaunsari people have been living on hilly areas where in winter season snow falls. This blanket is made of wool and warmth for winter season. Let's see how the people used to make ropes. First of all, they took bimal tree leaves for cow and the remaining sticks and made bundle of it. These bundles would take to the pond or small rivers for keeping them for a month. And after this period, some of the family members would visit to peel its fabric off from the stick. They used to prepare ropes from it and sticks they used to store for emergency firewood. They used to do cotton farming for making casual clothes. They would get cotton from field and remove any unwanted leaves, stick from it, and proceed to the next phase, where a man used to separate the cotton seeds from silk. In that process, they would use a self-made wooden machine. That man was describing how they and their parents would use that machine and also describe the functionality of this machine. He said this machine could only work in case of different wood in that shaft. The rods would rotate opposite with the help of a designing technique like gear system works nowadays. Those seeds have been kept since his father, he said. For making clothes, same procedure would happen as I told earlier for wool. I got a single piece of cloth with him and asked a few questions about it. He said, we used to wear it as pant, shirt. Women also used it for ghagra, a traditional dress for women now. This time it is quite dirty, but he believed it would be whitish or shiny as cotton if it would get washed. This is the same charkha which Mahatma Gandhi used. This was the three-story building for animals, grass for them. Ground floor would be used to keep the animal like cow and ox. And second floor they used to enclose goat or sometimes grass in it. And it is said that they used to keep the sheep on the top floor because it would be quite colder than other floors and sheep could wear cold clothes. In this house you can see a red and white paint on it. Is white red. These walls are made of white soil. See how they would lock these doors. This is bottle guard. They used to use it for containing water, wine, and any other beverage. It was like jug we use now. That utensil was used for mixing flour to make dough. There would be many members in a family, so they used it. It was used for making chapati. It is called tawa. That was a soil stove and red color is being applied for cleaning it. That utensil was called handiya in local language. For carry water and also was the tradition to give a gift to newly married girl from his father's side. Bamboo was the most used tree that time for making handcrafts. As you can see, that one was used for keeping clothes safe in it. That was called dalka in local. It was used to carry small things, sometimes for collecting things, and also used to keep chapatis in it. That was one of the most prevalent carrying tool of the Jaunsari people, named Gidda, somewhere Gilla. They used to carry cow dung and food for workers in the field. That was grain filter called chadana for removing chaff and other particles. See this plant named white turmeric, kachur, and turmeric, haldi. Jaunsari people would not do its farming, but they got it from traders of Sirmaur, a district of Himachal Pradesh, and would exchange with sheep wool. Kachur was a remedial medicine herb for them. It was taste sweeter. They used it for fever, cold cough, and so on. Turmeric, haldi, is antibiotic, so they would use it for healing bonds. Mint, pudina, was like spice, and they used widely in their food for good taste and fragrance. Green chili they used greatly. A few people of Jaunsari tribe used to make wine themselves from bush roots and other alcoholic plants roots, and put it mixture in the container with water and other substances on the flame. This wooden craft put on it. The hole was for exiting gas. Another utensil they used to put on it, filled with water. They would cover everything with flour in order to no gas escape. After boiling substance, it would get vaporized, and after condensing, it would turn into wine, and drop of wine would flow and followed that thread into the bottle. Let's see how the region of the particular tribe has changed in every aspect. House architecture, old handcraft has replaced with new machines. Most of the work is done by machine now. People are focusing on getting education, turning their lives easier. Every places are facilitated with roads, electricity, and any other necessity for survival.